Welcome back to another episode of the Peak Signing Agents Podcast with me, your host, DVO Derek Van Otten. I am truly, truly grateful that you keep coming back and listening or watching to this podcast to make yourself a better signing agent, to make yourself a better notary, to make yourself a better entrepreneur, or whatever it is that you want to be better at. I hope I provide value in that aspect. And today is no exception because I'm going to hopefully bring value in a different way. I know this podcast is geared towards notaries and signing agents, but in the very beginning of this podcast, I talked about that I will be doing other things. I'm talking about entrepreneurism and mindset and things like that. And this is going to be one of those episodes. So I hope you enjoy those topics. Again, it's a little break sometimes, but we are all business owners and entrepreneurs, so I do want to talk about that. But I am recording this on Sunday, July 2nd, 2023. I will be publishing it on Monday, July 3rd, 2023, which is a day before the 4th of July, Independence Day. And that alone is giving me an idea for a topic that I want to discuss with you. There is a podcast that I listen to. It's called How I Built This with Guy Raz. It's a great podcast if you haven't started listening to it. I do highly recommend that podcast. He interviews a lot of successful business owners. A lot of them have built businesses that I'm very sure you are aware of. But in the episode, he asked this question to every guest. And he asked them, how much of their success do they contribute to pure luck and how much to hard work? And I'm always very fascinated with the answers they give. And I always wondered if I was interviewed on that podcast, what would my answer be? And it does change. I always think about it. And I'm like, maybe I would say this much or this much luck and this much hard work, or maybe a little bit of both, 50-50, or one more than the other. And maybe it depends on the day. Oh, excuse me. But one thing's for sure. I do think that the harder I work, the luckier I get. So if that's not a vague answer, I don't know what is. But I will say there are a couple things that I am very lucky of. There's two things I always say that I'm lucky about. One is I was born into the family I was born into. Because I just think my family's great. My parents are wonderful, and I think they did a great job raising me. And the second thing I'm fortunate of is I was born in the USA. I could have been born in my mother's country of the Philippines. I could have been born in another country. I don't know. But I'm glad, I am lucky to have been born in the USA. I think, in my opinion, the best country in the world. Is it perfect? No. But is it the best? In my opinion, it is. And I'm fortunate to be here, and I do like to celebrate the 4th of July. I do love being out with my family and taking a day off to just, be grateful for a moment. I think sometimes we forget about that. It's easy to remember the barbecues and the carnivals and the cotton candy. But I think it's also a good time to be grateful that we are in the United States of America, that we are in a country that encourages entrepreneurism, that you can you can be here, and for less than $1,500, you can start a signing agent business or a notary business. And I say $1,500, just a number I came up with, just kind of doing some easy math. If you were to buy scanners and printers and paper and equipment and a training course, right? That's a good amount. That's a good guess, right? But maybe around $1,500 to get your commission and get started with all your supplies. Maybe about that much, give or take $500. But we're in a country that supports that encourages that says you can do that. There's some countries you can't do something like that. And I'm very fortunate that I am in a country that allows me to do that. And I have multiple businesses. I'm in a country that allows me to have multiple businesses. And I'm not a political person, so you're not going to hear me talk a lot about politics on this podcast. But, me and my family, we govern ourselves. That's how I look at it. Even though I love America, we govern ourselves. I don't get too wrapped up into the politics because no one can control what I do in my household. What me and my wife do in our household, I should say, because we're both 50-50 partners in our household. We both make the decisions that occurs within our family, and no one can dictate otherwise to us. And if they tried to, we'd fight them for it. Thank God I live in a country that would allow me to do that. And so I just wanted real quick right now to say, to be grateful for a moment, to be excited that, there's one in I looked it up one time, I think it was 1 in a 4 trillion chance to be born a human. That's another thing I'm lucky about too, I guess. I wasn't born a cockroach that everyone hates and wants to smash or eat. I was born a human with the intellect that makes me make my own decisions. And decisions like being an entrepreneur and start my own business as a signing agent or a signing service. And there's no limit to what potential can be here. There's absolutely no limit to it. You can start and make $1,000 a month part-time, $2,000 a month part-time. That's fantastic. You can go full-time and replace your income at a job maybe that you don't like very much, making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month. That's fantastic. You can be build a real solid business where you're making six figures as a signing agent, starting from nothing. Literally, I started with maybe, again, between $1,000 and $1,500 to get all my equipment, to get my commission, to get everything set up, order my marketing materials, all of that stuff. Everything cost me $1,000 to $1,500. And now be making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. I mean, where else, what other country allows you to do something? I mean, I know there are other countries, but thank God I'm in America. And then that you can have a thriving business as a signing service where you're basically hiring contractors, notary contractors, and you're helping pay their wages. You're helping them provide a greater family life. Maybe they're trying to plan a vacation because I hired a notary. I'm helping them. Maybe save for a rainy day, save for their retirement, take their family out on a nice weekend out. You know, that's just one way to look at that. My mentor, Mark Wills, had taught me. You know, when I was telling him, I'm like, oh my goodness. One thing I didn't expect when I was starting my signing service, I had to write all these checks out and pay all these notaries. You know, it's a bigger expense than I thought. And he taught me, he's like, hey, or another way you can look at it is you're helping them. You're helping them provide for their family. You're helping them save for their future. You're helping them, you know, take a needed vacation or a nice week, a nice date out with their significant other. It's like, I didn't even think about that. Wow, that's a great way to look at it. And so, I mean, where else can you do something like that? I think that's fantastic. So I'm so blessed and grateful that I live here. And I just wanted to share that with you and hope you also feel that way too. And, you know, another great thing, I'll tell you a story that just happened just this weekend, is my air conditioner broke over the weekend. And in Utah, we've actually had a pretty cool spring and summer. Like, it's been 70s and 80s for most of the year so far, which I think has been fantastic. But for the first time this week, this is the first week I just turned my air conditioner on. And I got home, and I could hear it was making some funny noises outside. I noticed it wasn't really cooling down in the house. So I went outside and noticed my air conditioner wasn't working. So I turned it all off, and we opened up the windows. Luckily, it got cool enough where we cooled down. But today, it's a Sunday, and it's hot. And, you know, I was able to call an AC repair company to come out and fix it. And it's a Sunday, right? So, you know, it's after hours. You know, they're going to charge extra for that. And some people are just going to be miserable. Like, okay, we'll just wait till Monday. We don't want to fork out the extra $200 or $300 just for a convenience fee on a Sunday. We don't want to do that. And I'm fortunate enough to have built a business or to be in an industry that pays me well, that I'm like, sure, whatever makes my family comfortable. Yeah, so I don't want to be hot. I don't want to be uncomfortable in my home. Yeah, come on out. It's a Sunday. You know, you're going to get paid extra. You know, you were just sitting around probably not doing anything anyway. You're going to get paid extra for it, which is what you signed up for. So you're okay with that. I'm going to have a cooler house. I'm going to have a comfortable family. I'm going to have a comfortable night when I go to sleep tonight. And so why I'm saying that is because we're in a country where we can build a business and make good money doing it. And this is an industry that can pay very well. And I know a lot of people look to demonize money. And I get it. Some people use it for the wrong reasons or do bad things with it. But there's some people that have good intentions with money. And also, money can be used as a tool. Money is a tool. Whether it's being used for good or evil is you know, another topic we can talk about, another discussion. But it's also a tool. And I'm able to use that as a tool to say, you know what, I don't want my family boiling tonight in the house. We can pay the money to have somebody come out. And that's not the first time this has happened. We've had this happen in the winter where all of a sudden the heater stopped working. and we call someone late at night. They came over. We paid them extra for it and a tip, and they came out. So they got extra money to provide a service. My family's comfortable. It's a win-win for everybody. But if I was struggling with money, that wouldn't be an option. And I'm not just saying that to make a lot of money, but also I'm talking about that to also save money, for an emergency fund. Because your air conditioner, your heater going out, that's an emergency. Your alternator in your car, right? Because we're all mobile notaries, signing agents, right? We need our vehicles going. Hey, that's an emergency. It's good to have an emergency fund, which is maybe another topic we can talk about. But I'm just kind of saying here that we live in America where there's something like this. And I'm just grateful. And I hope you're grateful. And I hope you take that moment just to let it sink in a little bit. When we're out doing festivals and activities and you're enjoying yourself, maybe take a moment to just look around and say, man, I'm so glad I'm here. Some people risk their lives coming to this country. My mom is not from this country. My dad was born here in the USA, but his family wasn't. They were born in another country as well. They were born in Holland. And I'm just so glad I'm here. And I'm going to take this moment to just kind of let it sink in. I'm actually where I parked today. It's a Sunday, so I'm not out doing any signings right now, but I am in the mobile office, and I just have this view right now of the mountains. If you've ever been to Utah, they're gorgeous. And I'm just able to just appreciate that I'm here and that I can drive there. And I appreciate the fact that I have clean water to drink. And I have food in my fridge and on my table, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm grateful. A lot of people worry about that type of stuff. And I just hope that you understand that we're free. We live in a free country, that you can start a business like being a notary signing agent. And you can, like I said, start something part-time to make a little extra money. Just do whatever you want to do. Or you can make it a full-time career where you control your time, whether you want to work or you don't want to work. And you can replace your income. Or you can have a business that's a thriving business that maybe has a signing service. Or maybe I know a lot of people that get into this field and start working into title and escrow offices. And they become escrow officers themselves or licensed escrow assistants and make a good living. And they have a lot of freedom as well. There's a lot that comes, being in this country. And as I look over at these mountains and talking with you, just being appreciative. And I hope you take that moment for the next couple of days. Well, it's the 4th of July. We're celebrating independence. We're celebrating freedom. That you also just be appreciative of that freedom and that sacrifice people have made to do that. And I think it's just important sometimes. I know I talked about this, I think maybe around Thanksgiving time I talked about it, but I think it's important to continuously think about it, not take things for granted. Because I think a lot of people, and a lot of people in this industry too, I'll say it, it's more about them. What will be more convenient for them, will make things easier for them. And I think sometimes just be appreciative, like, wow, I can do this, and I'm healthy, I'm alive, and I'm a human. I'm not an ant, I'm not a cockroach, and I can travel and I can do different things. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. And in fact, speaking of the mobile office, can you believe that somebody hit it? Somebody hit it while it was parked. Luckily, neighbors had their doorbell cameras, and we were to find out who did it. And it was a little kid. He crashed his bicycle into the mobile office and put a scratch and a little dent along the side of the driver's side door, a little bit of the passenger door. But, we're going to get it fixed. And if it was another, again, it could have been somewhere where they wouldn't have doorbell cameras, and it would have just been like, oh my gosh, I have to pay to get this fixed, and it'd be an inconvenience to me, and it'd be a hassle. But we're gonna get it fixed, and it's just, it's something you laugh at. I saw the video and I see the kid, and he was okay, but he smacked into it, and all of a sudden, this is the video. You actually see him ride his bike. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he closed his eyes or something, lost control of the steering of his bicycle. But you hear the smack into the van, and then there's like nothing for a while, and then he starts walking away, walking his bike. He wasn't riding it, so I don't know if his bike got out of alignment or something too. I don't know what he did, but he kind of broke the plastic around, or knocked it out of place, the plastic around the side view mirror. I was able to put that back in place. And I washed it, and the scratch doesn't look as bad. It's just more of a dent and a little bit of a scratch that we can probably work on getting taken care of. But, again, money is a tool where I can be like, hey, you know what? It's just an inconvenience, and we can get it taken care of. But if I was struggling financially, man, like, it might be like a major disaster, a big headache. And so don't demonize money. It's okay if you want to work hard for money, but don't center everything around money, though. But use it as a tool and attain wealth so that you can provide well for you and your family. There's nothing wrong with that. We live in a country that allows that there's no cap on the income you can make here. You can make $100,000 a year, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million a year here. I know signing service owners who make over $1 million a year. They're personal friends of mine. And I surround myself with them. I talk with them, so I'm going to hit that goal as well. And you can too. But it's whatever you want to do. There's nothing wrong if you're like, hey, if I'm happy making $3,000 a month and I don't have to have a boss and I get to work whenever I want and take vacation whenever I want. If you're happy with that, hey, that's great too. I am happy for you. So anyway, happy independence, happy freedom, to be entrepreneurs, to be alive, and to thrive, and be amazing because you are amazing. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.